Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marta and today I will be doing a video on my custom Christmas palette, which I put in this empty magnetic palette by Carity. And it's actually a Christmas palette. It's very cute. It says Happy Holiday with Love, Carity, and I just put some single shadows in it that I feel like represent Christmas very well for me. And what I thought about when putting together this color scheme is of course that I love dark shades, so I did put a dark red or almost burgundy shade here, and I also did put a dark green shade here, and this is the shade Squad by Raine. This one is Poison on Your Lips by Looxi Beauty, and I also have the shade Cloud 9, which is a dark brown, and I don't feel like it looks super dark here, but I swear that on the eye this one turns out like super dark. And it's a neutral brown, so it goes well with both the reds and the greens and the mustard shade here. So I did want both green and red, and I also put in a green and red that is a little bit more of a medium toned. So this is the shade Gremlin by Looxi Beauty. It's a little bit blue toned actually, but it fits very well with both the shade Squad and the shade Siren of the Sea here, which is from Looxi. And this is of course the shade I chose to like go with the green shadows. They all have like this blue greenish undertone, and I just really love those shades. So it's not like the classical Christmas greens, but I really do like them. And I did throw in a mustardy toned shadow here. It's not as yellow as it looks. It's a little bit more, for me at least, I feel like it's more gingerbread-ish, at least combined with the brown here. So these are like my gingerbread shades in the palette. And it's needless to say that the reds are perfect for Christmas. And this is the shade Celesta by Divina Cosmetics, which is a green duochrome with a reddish base, which is of course also to me perfect for Christmas. And then I couldn't have a palette without a true gold, so this is the shade Stacks by Looxi Beauty. So I'll just show you a little bit of a close-up from the palette right here, and I will be just swatching them, and I'll be going from this side to this side and of course downwards like that. And I will be putting all of the names on the screen as I swatch them. So yeah, let's just go ahead and swatch them. So that is my whole Christmas palette swatched out on my arm, and I do really love this color scheme. If you did follow, or if you do follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I did post this like a month ago, but I did change out a couple of the shadows because I had one that was way more orange than this mustard, but I don't know, I just felt like changing it up a little bit. And as you can see, I really love textures in my different shadows, so all of the shimmer shades are super sparkly, and I just love that in all of my looks. And almost all of these shadows, like the matte ones, they build up really nicely. So as you can see, several of them don't really swatch that well, but they do really perform well on the eye, especially on a wet base like I always use. So yeah, just look at the shift on that shade Celesta. It's like a greenish gold shade. Oh, I just really love all of these shades. Like the first shade, Siren of the Sea, is literally like one of my absolute all-time favorite shadows. It's so sparkly and beautiful. It has like a seafoam green shade almost. But yeah, at least this is all of the different shades in my palette, and if you want to see how I got this look using all of these shadows, well, not all of them, but some of them, then just please keep on watching. For today's look, I think I want to go in with some greens on my inner corner of the crease, and then I think I want to go for the reds in my outer corner, and then put some of this golden shade stacks on the middle of my lid. And I don't want a cut crease, I just want it to be like in the center of my lid and a little bit blown out to the sides and upwards. So I'm just taking my Kaleidos makeup brush in S3, and I will just start with the shade here, Squad by colored Raine. I'm just making sure that my eyeshadow base is completely creaseless, and I am using the Makeup Revolution one, the concealer in shade C1. As you can see, I did have some fallout, but it's very pigmented, this shade. So I'm just tapping it down where I want it to be, and with this brush the edges sort of just blend out by themselves. And I also want to make sure that I can see the shadow when I'm looking straight forward. I will blend out this shade with the shade Gremlin by Looxi Beauty, the other green shadow in my palette. But I think this is just how I want it. Now I'll be going in with the same brush, and I just cleaned it with my color switch. And I'm picking up the shade Poison on Your Lips by Looxi Beauty. It's quite dry to the touch, but it does perform very well once you get it on the eyelid. Using my S5 brush from Kaleidos Makeup, I'm picking up some of the shade Sauce from colored Raine, and I will just be applying that on top of the other red shade that I put on earlier. So I will just, as you can see, it's the darkest space, it's the darkest, placement of the shadow right here, so I'm just tapping it straight above that. So first I'll be like making sure that I'm placing the pigment there, and then we'll worry about the blending afterwards. This shadow also has a little bit of fallout, but I'm not really that worried. I will just brush it away later. So as you can see, I'm very careful with my motions here with the brush. I'm very gentle, I'm not pushing very hard or anything like that. And I'm just gently blending it downwards and a little bit upwards. So before I blend anything more upwards, I will just lay down a little bit of my setting powder just to make sure that I won't blend it too far up. Now I'm just taking a tiny blending brush. It's from Morphe, but it doesn't have a name. And I'm just picking up a little bit of the shade Gremlin to blend out the darker shade Squad. And I'm doing the exact same thing with the placement here that I did with the red shadows. So I'm just placing it down, excuse me. So I'm just placing it down like exactly where the darkest spot of the other shadow is. And then gently buffing it. I'm just trying to apply a little bit more of the darker red shade, Poison on Your Lips. I'm just slightly blending it upwards into the red shadow. And a little bit into the dark green shadow. Now I'll basically just be going a little bit back and forth between the shadows and my brushes just to make sure that the colors are as intense as I want them to be. So now I'm just taking a little bit of the shade Poison on Your Lips, and I'm just using the tiniest brush, the S5 by Colourpop Makeup. I'm just going like a little bit over the edges, and now I'll be just taking it down to connect to the lower lash line as well. And I think I want to go in with the mustard shade on my lower lash line. So I will just be blending the mustard shade Wheatness, the one you can see right here. I'll just be taking that and blending it out as well. So as you could see, I did drag the red shadow, like the bright red, the shade Sauce, a little bit downwards here, just to like smoke out the look a little bit. So I did that on both sides. I don't know if they were that even, but I don't think anyone's going to notice. But now I'm just going to take the middle shade, the shade Stacks, right here, and I don't really think I will need a glitter glue, just because it's such a creamy shadow, as you can see here. It's almost like a cream to powder formula or something. So I will just be taking that like this, and I'll just be tapping it right in the middle of my lid. And as you can also see, I did make sure that the matte shadows are all over my lid, just so that where I don't place the golden shadow, I still have some color underneath and not just my skin color. So I'll just be taking it a little bit up here. I do like to sometimes drag my lid shade a little bit up in the middle for sort of like a spotlight effect. And obviously this is a very glittery formula, so I do see some glitter specks flying around, but that's also something you can easily remove afterwards. So as you can see, I'm just tapping it gently on my lid. I don't know if I'm going to like drag it too far, but it's, as you can also see, it's very important when you have hooded eyes that you actually look straight forward, because that's how your eyeshadow is going to look for basically everyone else, because it looks completely different. I can make a straight line right here, but it's just going to look crooked when I have my eyes open like normal. So I'm just making sure that it looks like I want it to. I'm not joking when I say that this is like my favorite gold shade. It's just such a bright gold. It's like almost yellow gold. And it's so sparkly. It's almost like I'm applying glitter to my eye. And if you know me, you know I love glitter. So I'm just sort of tapping it out here because I don't want it to be a cut crease like I said in the beginning. Tapping out the edges. It can be a little bit messy, it's just pretty I think with some glitter specks all around. Not everywhere, but honestly I'm quite happy with this. I think I'll just drag it a tiny bit further here. Here we have it. So I think that's it. I will just go ahead and do the same thing on my other eye. If I'm doing any changes, I will just show you that. If not, I will just apply some lipstick and mascara and some liner just on the top here. And yeah, I will show you how it looks. This is how my finished look turned out using my own Christmas palette that I love so much. It really gives me Christmas vibes. And this whole look also just feels like Christmas to me with the red, the green and the gold. And I did end up putting a little bit of the gold shade stacks underneath my eye as well because I just felt like it was missing something. And for my highlight I used the Looxi Beauty highlighter in the shade, I think it's Stiletto. I always mix it up with the shade Stripped, like I mix them up. But at least it's like a white to gold duochrome that I used in my inner corner right here. And for my cheek highlight I ended up using my Colourpop Guilty Pleasure Super Shock highlight, and then I topped it off with the shade Mimosa, also by Looxi Beauty. And I think that is like the perfect pale gold shade for me and my skin tone at least. And I really just love how they look. And the shade Guilty Pleasure also has like a little bit of pink base so that I get a little bit of a blushed look as well. And for my lipstick I just used my Super Stay Matte ink by Maybelline, and it's in the shade Pioneer 20. And it's just a bright red shade, and I did use it with my Guerlain, I don't know how to pronounce that either, but my Guerlain lip liner right here, and this one is one of my favorites. I feel like I can use it with like every single lipstick. It's in the shade Brun Chocolate. Brun, that means like brown chocolate in Norwegian at least, so yeah, that's what I used for my lips. And I do feel like this is a very Christmassy and beautiful look, and I really like it. And I'm going to feel very pretty going out tonight. But yeah, I hope you really liked this video and that you like the idea of making custom palettes with different themes, because I really want to do more videos like this, putting together my custom palettes and using them for a look. So please comment down below and like this video if you also like it. And yeah, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of those things. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!